This is a Middle Loop product review.
Hi, I'm Jerry with Middle Loop, and this is a product review on our favorite drone accessory. If you're a regular viewer of our tutorials on using DJI products, you've probably seen that every once in a while we throw in a suggestion on an accessory that we find useful. In fact, 2 of the 4 items covered today have been mentioned previously. But the advantage of dedicating a video to the topic is it gives us a little extra time to explain the benefits and detriments and dig into some of the details. I did want to mention that none of the items covered today were provided by the manufacturer or were in any way sponsored by them. These are products that we purchased for our own use, and we're simply passing on our experience to you. If you're interested in any of these products, we've provided links to each in the description. We've also provided a table of contents for this video in the description with links so that you can jump ahead to any specific item and skip those that aren't relevant to you. First up, we're going to cover a screen protector to use on the RC Pro and Smart Controller. Next, our favorite stylus. Then a lanyard for the controller. And finally, MicroSD cards. Incidentally, these items are useful across multiple items in the DJI line. Although today's video is focused on accessories for the RC Pro, many also work on other products like the original Smart Controller. We'll be sure to point out what works where as we go. Remote controllers, like the RC Pro, can cost as much, if not more, than your cell phone. Chances are, in fact, over 75% of cell phone owners do use a screen protector. So to me, it's only logical that you also protect the screen on the RC Pro. After reading reviews and doing other research, we settled on the C-Sky HD tempered glass screen protector film. Now, I'll have to tell you that when the product first arrived, I was a little worried. The description of the product on Amazon had RC Pro all over it, but when I opened the packaging, nowhere was RC Pro mentioned. Well, it turns out my concerns were for naught. The screen protector fit perfectly. In fact, it's really hard to tell that the screen protector is installed at all. Incidentally, both the RC Pro and the original Smart Controller have the same screen size, which was perfect for us since the package we ordered came with 2 screen protector films. By the way, the DJI RC remote that comes bundled with the Mini 3 Pro also has the 5.5-inch screen. Now, a couple of notes. The screen protector is not anti-glare, so it doesn't do anything to help with reflection on a sunny day. But it also doesn't seem to add much, if any. In our experience, we find the screen glare on the RC Pro is similar with or without this screen protector installed. I should also mention that the installation instructions are awful. In fact, I swear they're backwards. So we pretty much followed our intuition and it installed just fine. A stylus is an accessory that we've mentioned in other videos. We initially bought it for the original Smart Controller and the Mavic 2 Pro for setting up and initiating waypoints. Now, I don't consider myself as having exceptionally large fingers. I mean, I'm no Shrek or anything, but I found I kept adding waypoints where I didn't want them. Plus, in day-to-day flying, some of those icons on the controller are really small and hard to hit. I also found that when flying on chilly days, when my hands are cold, for whatever reason, the screen didn't always respond to my touch. Anyway, a stylus seemed to help, and now I hardly ever fly without it. The stylus we purchased is the Miko 2-in-1 Precision Series stylus. It came with 2 in the package and a number of replacement tips. This particular stylus has 2 ends, a thicker end which is about 1/4 of an inch wide. I use this end most of the time. And then there's a precision end, which has a point of about 1 millimeter or 2 in thickness. This end is encased in a clear plastic disc that you can see through so you know exactly where the point is. I imagine the disc also helps the tip to slide easier on the screen. Now, the manufacturer of this stylus does recommend a screen protector just in case. So here's an illustration of the different widths. This is the thicker end, and now the precision end. Now, of course, this stylus works with any touchscreen. So it works on the RC Pro and the original Smart Controller. And if your remote controller doesn't have a screen, like the RC-N1, which relies on your phone or iPad as the display, it'll work there too. A lanyard is not something that I really thought much about when I first got into flying a drone. But it's actually kind of nice, especially when you're not flying. Now, what I mean by that is it frees up your hands between flights, like when you're swapping batteries. Of course, I used to just set the controller on the ground, which I never really liked to do, especially if it was dusty or sandy or wet. But I also find that it's handy when flying, like distributing some of the weight from your arms. And as an added bonus for people who like to record a voice track when flying, it's a great place to attach a microphone. So the lanyard that we purchased is the ANB RC Pro Controller hand-free lanyard. The bracket is made of aluminum, so it's fairly durable, and when it attaches to either the RC Pro or Smart Controller, it's designed to not interfere with any of the ports. The strap is easily removed, and I find I can leave the bracket attached to the controller and it still fits in the bag with no problem. The strap itself is adjustable from 25 to 31 inches in length and is a comfortable width that's neither too wide nor too narrow. Now, this product does not work with the RC-N1 controller. We also can't recommend it for the DJI RC remote that comes bundled with the Mini 3 Pro. That controller has a little door covering some of the ports, and this bracket would likely interfere. But for the RC Pro and original Smart Controller, we like it. The last item we're covering today is a microSD card. We recommend SD cards to expand the memory of both your remote controller and your drone. The internal memory of these devices is pretty small. In fact, the only drone that we don't recommend it for is the Mavic 3 Cine, which comes with its own built-in 1 terabyte solid-state drive. That drive has extremely fast write speeds, and it's required for recording in ProRes. Now, you'll notice we were careful to say that we recommended to expand the memory of your device. Our recommendation is that you insert it and leave it and just use it as expansion memory. We actually don't suggest that you continually remove it and reinsert it over and over again for a number of reasons that we'll explain in a minute. For transferring files, we recommend using the USB port or, if supported, quick transfer, which is wireless. We actually have a couple of videos on copying files as well as a video on expanding the memory of the RC Pro. We'll provide a link to those videos at the end of this video. Alright, so why not eject and reinsert the cards? Well, the first reason is that inevitably you won't have it with you when you need it. Now, you can always carry a spare in your bag just in case you end up at a shoot without one, but forgetting it altogether is a common mistake that pros and recreational flyers make all the time. Okay, so let's move on to reason number 2, damage to the card. These cards can get damaged if they get wet, or by direct sunlight or static electricity, or even by getting something on the gold contacts, like the oils from your fingers. Plus, they're easy to lose. I mean, as the name implies, micro. They're really tiny. Anyway, every time they're removed from the device introduces risk. So our preference is just to leave them be and use a different method to transfer the files. So what card do we recommend? Well, you should always stick to the DJI list of supported microSD cards. For your convenience, we've included a list in the description below. At Middleloop, we're a big fan of SanDisk, and for the most part, we use this one. And of course, we provided a link in the description below. So that's it for today's video. If you haven't already subscribed, that's a great way to find all of our other tutorials on the DJI products. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, tap that like button. Thank you, have a great day, and happy flying.